All right, y'all. So it's your girl. Go ahead, smash that damn like button. Don't be no haters. All right. We here to, you know what I'm saying, create and be great. We're a family in this channel. So y'all smash that like button. Show your love, your support. You know what I mean? I'm here to do y'all forecast for 2026. Or more like give y'all like advice, really. Um, 2026 it equals 10, but in numerology, you cannot use the damn zero. So it's basically one. It's all about new beginnings, all right, and leaderships. I've been telling a lot of y'all during my tarot readings that a lot of you guys are gonna see yourselves starting new paths, new relationships, etc. All right. Remember that closing out cycles, even though this isn't tarot, this is numerology, but closing out cycles is means new beginnings. When you look at the tarot cards and you see the number 10, that is basically an ending of a cycle. But remember, it has the one to it. So that also means something new. Like something must die for something new to grow. All right. So we're going to talk about the number one. The number ones are going to go through, certain things this year. You're going to be, because you're in your number of the one, this is like your natural year. The universe is going to push you towards leadership, whether you like it or not. That's not it. That's not it. You know what I'm saying? You have to take the bull by the horns. All right. You're going to be focusing on power, on your confidence and your self-belief. For career and money, you're going to be seeing yourself doing business oriented things that have to do with leadership. Some of y'all are going to see promotions. Remember, you have to act in your power because you're ones. So ones have to, go after the shit that they want. All right. A lot of y'all gonna see yourself with new businesses, new roles, doing things that are different. All right. Be careful with egos because that does tend to affect you this year. You must self promote. Your success is going to come from you being bold, like you throwing yourself out there, you going after the things that you want. All right. You will see some type of tests in your relationships. You're going to sadly outgrow partners that can't keep up with you. So a lot of y'all, like I said, these cycles, like how much more can I explain that? Right. You will attract things when you stop chasing them when it comes to like your love life, but your independence is greatly going to test your relationships. Give me a second, y'all. Why are you eating that when you say you have a cavity? Ooh, she clocked you. You guys are gonna go through shadow self issues with your ego because number one, you guys are very egotistical. You be on like power strikes and shit. So you also tend to isolate yourself. So just be careful not to have your shadow side affect your 2026, right? You guys are gonna be domineering. And again, just be careful with that. You need to act first, clarifying things with people. Sometimes being a number one, you're looked at kind of like as the Aries sign, how like you have to like take it all first, right? And you have to like pave the path for everybody else. Being a number one and you guys are in leadership, a lot of y'all really genuinely struggle with like your egos. You think you're right, and that can rub a lot of the other numbers wrong. You know what I'm saying? So just make sure that you don't get too caught up with your ego and your dominance to the point where you end up burning bridges with other people because of your number one. You're always going to think you're right, and that can affect you. You know what I'm saying? So just keep that in mind. All right. Just act first, but you have to be very clear with what your actions are presenting because not everybody mind reads, and not everybody's gonna understand, your plan of action or the way that you're moving. So just keep that in mind. All right. I just wanna like throw that out there because ones do suffer from like their ego, and they are very stuck on building and wanting to dominate so much so that other people look at it in a wrong way. All right. All right. So for number twos, you are gonna be, you're gonna be tested boundary wise this year. You guys are very like emotional. Number twos, you want partnership, right? So you're gonna learn who you are outside of other people. You're gonna go through some type of independent lessons. You're gonna have to stop relying on everyone's approval. Remember, number twos are people pleasers, so that's gonna be like a challenge for you this year. All right. um you're gonna start to see some type of solo path that's gonna be emerging for you. Your relationships and like the dynamics in your relationships are going to shift this year. So a lot of y'all are very codependent on making someone happy. Stop eating that. um as a two, you have a journey ahead of you. Like your boundaries are non-negotiable this year. Unfortunately, I gotta tell you what it is. You gotta have some damn boundaries this year. And that the spiritual lesson for you is to basically trust your intuition over your emotional attachments. Being twos, you're always gonna want someone there with you, and that can impact you. So just be careful with that. Be careful with self-doubt this year and people pleasing. Choose yourself even if it makes you uncomfortable. That is the lesson for twos. For the threes, remember you're entertainers, you create shit. um Threes this year, you need to redefine like your voice and your identity. um it's very important for you to do that. You guys are going to be finding yourselves rebranding. You're going to have some new creative directions. You're going to find yourself going in different paths and trying different things. um you're going to also see like these opportunities that are going to be clear for you. A lot of y'all, you're going to be like a lot into heavy social media shit. You're going to be finding yourself, in platforms and doing different creative things. You guys are going to in love go through like joys. There's gonna be a lot of y'all could find yourselves like flirting with people online. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but you're gonna find yourself like really happy. You're gonna also find like expressions like with your person. There's gonna be like authentic expression between like the two of you, and it'll like create like bonds this year. All right. um your voice is really like important for you because you're entertainers, so you have to make sure that you know what I'm saying, use your voice. It's very important for you to like use your voice. All right. You need to speak your truth even if people don't like it. It's okay. And like I said, a lot of y'all gonna find yourselves rebranding yourselves. You could find yourself talking to people online as well a lot, like flirting with people online because you're gonna be heavy into social media this year. I mean, you guys are technically entertainers, so you will be that way anyways. But a lot of y'all gonna find yourself rebranding yourself through social media, whether that's YouTube, uh, Instagram, etc. Right? Um, Number fours, you guys are the builders. Think of it like as 22. 22 is a master builder, right? So number fours are builders. You're all about structure. Um, Unfortunately, you're gonna find some type of shakeup this year. Like your foundation is gonna be shaken this year. All right. You're gonna have some old belief systems that are gonna end up like dropping, whether you like it or not. It is what it is. A lot of y'all are gonna find yourself doing a career reset. Like your old routines, the old shit you used to do, that shit ain't gonna work for you this year. So you're gonna have to like let it go. You know what I mean? Um, some of y'all kind of moving. Your long-term foundations will start to form this year. A lot of y'all are gonna lose connections. I know that that's not some shit you want to hear. I know, because you guys are very like structured number fours and you want stability, but hey, listen, you in the year of the 2026 includes a one. So there's a lot of things that are going to be new that are going to start, even if these shits make you uncomfortable. It is what it is, right? You're going to find your stability being tested this year in your connections. Your relationships, either they evolve or they dissolve. There's no in the middle. It's like black or white. You know what I mean? So just be careful. Um, you being a four, you struggle with like change. Like you have a fear of change because fours like things to be structured. They like a four, you'll notice that a four will always take the same motherfucking route to go to work. They don't like change, right? So fours, because they're authority based, they're they're gonna go through some type of fears of change. Be careful with that. Try not to hold yourself back. Obviously, you need to build smarter and not harder. A lot of y'all are very rigid and that could affect you. So be careful with that. Just saying. You have to be welcoming to change because change includes growth. And I know that a lot of fours have issues with that shit because they like to keep things structured. They're very, you know, by the rule, by the book. You know what I'm saying? So now we're gonna go to number fives. Number fives, you already know, they are the damn butterfly. They are the ones that seek their freedom. That's actually their life path animal, butterfly, and a hummingbird. All right. They're very free. They're also very sexual. This year, you're gonna be going through some changes. Some of y'all gonna be moving. There's gonna be a lot of growth for you. You're gonna have expansion. This year is gonna activate your freedom and it's gonna also activate some type of risks for you. Like, I'm talking to y'all like if you guys were my kids. Be very careful of the decisions you make and the things that you choose to do, right? I always say you have to properly plan things and you must, look at all aspects before making any kind of decisions, simply because you know what? What you make, the decisions you make or the path you choose, them shits are permanent. You know what I'm saying? You can't really undo something. It's kind of like if you say to someone, I hate you or anything like that, you kind of can't take that back. So remember that, right? As a five, a lot of y'all are going to see traveling or location changes. You guys are going to be in business energy and you're going to find a lot of sudden opportunities financially. For love, you're going to find passionate connections. There's going to be connections that some of y'all are going to be in that you're not going to really like. They're going to be like non-traditional connections because some of y'all may be about, being married, wanting something stable, and then others are y'all, it depends on like what energy you're in, obviously. But as a five, a lot of y'all like your freedom, and so you may find yourself in a situation in where you're gonna have commitment fears in 2026, right? Which would be a different from 2025 because a lot of y'all wanted commitment. So in 2026, a lot of y'all gonna be like, oh hell no, I don't really want to be in no damn relationship. That's pretty much it, right? Be careful being impulsive this year. Be careful with being overly sexual. Some of y'all are horn dogs. Well, most fives are. You have a lot of sexual energy. I'm gonna state the facts. So be careful with that. All right. Um, your spiritual lesson this year is basically choosing freedom without becoming chaotic. So a lot of y'all, you know what I'm saying? Like you're going to free yourself from certain things, but you need to do it in a non-chaotic way. So just because you break an example, right? Like just because you break up with someone doesn't mean you got to like go out with a fucking bang and like, destroy everything around you. That's not what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to learn to be free, but not be free in a chaotic way. Obviously, you're not supposed to hurt other people neither. Um, you need to take your risk with your intentions. That's for fives. And like I said, be careful with being promiscuous or having, connections this year and where you're just fucking and fucking and fucking and it doesn't really like, get to anything because you guys are being non-committal. I'm just saying. Because a lot of y'all will see commitment. But the problem is that like a lot of y'all connections are going to be tested this year. So if they don't evolve or If something doesn't change for you, it's going to fall off this year. Fives. All right. Just saying. And then that can make you a little bit sketchy with any new people that you meet. Because y'all are very sexual. All right. Let's go to sixes. Shit, my eyes itching. So for sixes, remember six doubles down to like a two. So you guys are very like emotional. Okay. The sixes, you're needing to learn to prioritize yourself. You must choose yourself this year without feeling guilty. And I know that's kind of hard for you guys. You don't have to explain shit to nobody. A simple no. You know what I'm saying? It's a boundary check, you know? Just like the twos. As a six, you have that energy of the two. And love does not require you to sacrifice yourself. Understand that? Because a lot of y'all swear to God that you do. You are going to be prioritizing yourself in 2026. You're going to stop over giving. You're going to have to set better boundaries, which means better income for you because you are changing, right? Like I said, you have to like learn to say no to people. And I know that's going to be a challenge for you, but you're going to find yourself doing that this year. You're going to have a relationship power shift. You need to choose people that are willing to be fair to you because this year you're going to be forced to stop over giving. I know that is crazy. I know that you guys want a partnership. You guys are very loving, but it is what it is. The universe is going to like push you to wake the fuck up. It's going to push you to be independent is what it is. So sixes, your caregiving is going to find a halt this year. All right. Because some of y'all are really like loving. Yeah. All right. So number sevens, you guys are like the teachers and shit. You guys are knowledge based. This year, you're going to have some sort of a spiritual awakening. You guys are going to be very focused on spirituality and learning. All right. It's very important that this year for career, you guys focus on your spiritual or intellectual pursuits. You need to have inner clarity before you have any outer success. All right. A lot of y'all could benefit from doing some type of behind the scenes work. For love, you have like this wanting to be alone energy this year. So either you're going to find yourself in hermit energy, pretty much like being in solitude, or you're going to find yourself with a deep soul bond. It's either or, it's not like in the middle. It's unfortunately going to be a thing of structure. Your intuition is going to guide you this year. There's a lot of spiritual energies that are going to assist you guys. You guys are going to find yourselves reading and pursuing truths. A lot of you guys, you're going to pursue fairness. Okay. You have to trust in like the universe this year. A lot of y'all, you're gonna have to depend on being silent because your silence is going to be your teacher. All right. Please, y'all. Your awakening is called evolving. All right. So once you find yourself in that path, don't let any distractions derail you. Don't let judgments of people derail you. It's very important for you to allow the universe to guide you because y'all are sevens and you guys are like, you know, when you see the TED Talks, like those are bitches that are like sevens. Those are people that technically are like meant to like teach people. You got like the sevens and the 33s. Those are the ones you will see standing on there doing them fucking TED Talks, right? You are there to teach. Don't get distracted by the people that are not vibrating at your level or don't really know or understand you. Silence sometimes is best than arguments. I'm just saying. All right. For number eight, who Lord, listen, number eight, y'all. So number eight are balance. If you guys are not balanced this year, you're gonna have a lot of fucking issues. And I'm going to explain to you why. Remember, the number 8s equal the infinity symbol. They are karma based. And so if you are not balanced, you will suffer. If one part of your karma or of your 8 is too heavy, you'll lose the other side, right? Think of it as like the Libra sign. You know how like you got the scales and shit? When you put too much on one scale, how it like tips over like that and you lose one side over the other. You must be fair. As a number 8, you're either poor or you have a lot of money. Like that's just how it goes. However, you cannot prioritize money over family or your connections, or you will lose one of them. You must be equally yoked. You must be balanced. I don't know how more to tell you that. Your relationship with power and money is going to be tested this year. All right. You have a lot of abundance and leadership you're going to be focused on. But however, like I said, if you give too much to your money, you'll lose your family life or your relationship. So you must be very, very careful, 8s, because you're about balance. Remember the infinity number. The infinity logo is an 8 when you flip it upside up. So you must be balanced. I don't know how much more to tell y'all about that, right? When it comes to love, you're going to find yourself with control issues that are going to be surfacing. You just knocked all my pillows down. Your power balance must be equal this year in 2026. Yay! Your true power is going to be your integrity. Oh, give me my cup, girl. A lot of y'all are going to suffer from greed and dominance this year. Your advice is to lead ethically and everything will multiply. Like I said, be fair and you will be okay. If you are off balance, you're not going to see anything that's okay. Remember, you guys are karma. You're the number 8. You fuck around, you're going to find out. That's it. We're going to move to 9. 9s is a transformation number. Y'all going to see some transformation, a lot of completions. You're going to be releasing things. I know that kind of fucking sucks. But prepare this year to have major endings. So that person you could be holding on to, that shit ain't going to last. First of all, I've been reading for, oh crap. I've been reading for y'all for some time now. And I've been talking to y'all about, you know what I'm saying, these transformations. And for a lot of people, I've been telling y'all, you know, you're closing out cycles. And I know y'all don't want to hear it. I know it kind of sucks, but it is what it is. And that's life. You know, everything has to come full fucking circle, whether you like it or not, right? So understand that as a 9, your journey is basically to focus on clarity. All right. You need to let go of your misaligned goals, whether that's a person or work, whatever it is. When you're a 9, you got to be very careful. All right. You're going to have a lot of karmic closure this year. Like I'll be reading for y'all on the tarot, but y'all don't be listening. Just saying. It's a lot of karmic closure. You're healing old emotional wounds this year. You have to release things. That is your job this year, to release things. It's like, you know, when you look at 9, you're looking at like transformation. Remember that, right? The 9, yo, like the snakes are very transformative. You guys, listen to me when I tell you. Your advice is to detach with love. Stop holding on too long to things that don't serve you, because that is bringing out your shadow self. 9s, you're going to need to learn to accept the change that's coming around you, because these changes are going to be like very uncomfortable for you in some type of way, but it is to help you evolve, right? It's a transformation number. 9 is transformation. Get it through to your heads. It doesn't matter what you do or say. The universe is going to force it. There's going to have to be things that are going to have to be closed out of your life that you may not want to lose. But if it's not serving you, the universe is going to shut the shit down. So just understand that you need to detach with love from the things that you are trying to hold on to. All right. So because there is no 10, that would just equal a 1. We're going to go to number 11s. So 11s obviously are the same thing as a 2. But because they have the 1 there, they're going to have some type of leadership that is going to take place for 11s. So you'll see spiritual leaderships that will get started this year. You're going to have heightened intuition because of the number one that is in your stuff. All right. Be careful with being like nervous or being overly emotional this year. You also need to practice protection of some sort. You need to ground your light, 11s. All right. Um, don't get too caught up on ego stuff as well. Don't get too caught up with wanting to dominate certain things. A lot of y'all are gonna be really focused on partnerships. So just, you know, understand that you can have someone there, but you don't have to be an overachiever. As an 11, you're a spiritual number, and you know what I'm saying? Like, you're here to like teach people, right? But some of y'all, you get lost in the sauce along the ways. So, yeah. Number twos, 22s. Remember, 22 boils down to a 4. So you're gonna see some type of shakeup with your foundation this year, 22s. And that make a lot of sense. That's not a lie, y'all. You're gonna have your big visions activated. There's gonna be legacy building energy for you guys. Um, you know, you could have been like an overachiever, 22. You could have been somebody that wanted to have someone there with you. Those boundaries are going to come into place this year. All right. A lot of y'all are going to see a lot of changes for you. These are things that could have been in your life for some time, but it has to, go. Like, what doesn't serve has to go, right? So if you guys want to know more about that, you need to rewind and go to the 4s, because you guys have a lot of good things coming, and it has to do with like your visions, right? You guys are going to be building a lot of things this year, and it's going to be like legacy building energy, but you're also going to have a lot of the 4 energy stuff taking place. So you're going to have foundation, shakeups, and things that are of structure being changed. So a lot of y'all can find yourself like moving and shit like that, or leaving a job, etc. All right. This year is gonna for the 33s, which are the healers. So 33s have a power to like convince motherfuckers to do stuff, right? And you're supposed to be living in that power. A lot of y'all don't live in that. So, like, remember when I talked about the TED Talks? A lot of y'all should be like doing stuff like that. Like, you should be empowering people. You should be working towards, building your own little following. Don't be no Manson, but just saying something that is productive, right? You guys are gonna need to focus on your emotional maturity this year. You're gonna be in an energy of teaching, healing, and guiding others. That is you living in your motherfucking life path. That is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to teach and guide others. Understand that, right? But first you gotta heal yourself, because if you ain't healed, you can't guide the rest of the pack. All right. Let's not create no cults, y'all. Just say it, because you guys have the power to do that. I don't know if you guys know that, but you do. You have the power to create cults. You make an impact on people. And this year, you're going to be, you know what I'm saying, doing that. However, like I said, you need to make sure that you are healed, so that way you don't push onto others your insecurities and your imperfections. All right. Now, this year, it encourages you to be courageful. Like, don't be afraid of shit. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna push you out of your comfort zone. Like, courage is a priority to over comfort. So even though this year a lot of y'all are gonna find yourselves in different energies than you initially were previously, these are all positive things. Okay. So if you start in 2026 understanding that, you will harvest powerfully for the next 9 years. So you have to be willing to change. And I know a lot of y'all don't kind of like that, don't like change, but everything that is here, these new beginnings are not here to hurt you. These new beginnings are here to make you better. And a lot of you guys, these uncomfortable shifts, these boundaries, these endings, these moves, these power dynamic shifts are here to help you move towards where you're supposed to be in your life. So obviously, be wise about your next few steps. Don't hold yourselves back. Don't let your shadow selves affect you in your life. All right. Because, like I said, this year, 2026, is building the next 9 years of your life. So be great in what you have to do and live in your power. All right. I'm just being honest with y'all. If y'all don't listen to me, y'all gonna see it sadly through like bursts this year. And you guys are gonna be feeling like it's some type of miserable outcome, but it's not. So please listen to my advice this year and be better. I will catch y'all on the next one, you guys. Smash that like button for your girl, and I'll catch you guys later. Ciao.